Hello and welcome back to, presumably back to Masks of Nyarlathotep. This is session number 48. We are continuing with our good friends Maxine, Lottie, and now William, who recently had no idea what he was about to get into, but he has stepped into the ring. Let's see. Let's take a look at the calendar. We can see where we are in time here. That was the 16th, or actually, sorry, the 17th. So let me mark that off.
This upcoming, we've got the new moon coming on the 24th, is that it?
That is correct. Yes. So William would probably have no idea that the new moon has been deemed significant, but the old group considered it a very important night, and I'll let one of you explain what the significance of that is in your own words.
Sorry, Maxine.
Yeah, so she's kind of pulled out her little day journal. It's got little scribbles and markings in the margins. She forwards past sections that are quite filled out with social engagements to more recent entries that are a lot more Spartan. She's got the 24th of March circled, several times around. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen here. I was pretty sure that this was when they was going to try to, bring that mummy lady back. But now that we got rid of I don't know what they're going to do. But from what Dad and Nat said, this cult likes to do bad stuff on the new moon, and that's when the new moon falls on this month. So they're going to be up to something.
All right. So we are back in Memphis. So you made camp here. The Clive expedition, their dig is kind of across the plain here. You can vaguely see occasionally dust rising up, though this kind of little plateau there is a nice little shield between the two of you, unless you're purposely want to move your camp so that you can see it at a distance. That's up to you. But I think the spot was chosen here to give yourselves something a little that's not just immediately noticeable. It is only, about a mile, not even a mile away, a mile between your camps.
I think we're just kind of waiting to see if they're going to go into town.
Mm-hmm.
Might get lucky today. Anybody want to do anything else today?
I think we could just read, maybe.
I was thinking William will watch the road and probably read through some of the old notes, trying to catch up on stuff.
Okay. So kind of take a nice, easy day and keep your eye on the road in case somebody decides to head into town. All right, that sounds good. You guys did rest. So Lottie, you are gonna recover back to your full 9, and Maxine, you can do a Constitution check for me for the sleep. Let's see how well you recovered. Oh, good. You get 2 back, not just 1 of your hit points.
Cool.
Indeed, and that is the red bubble. For anyone not sure, the blue is your sanity, green is your luck, which is spendable. All right, so you pass a day, again reading through things. It's pretty quiet. Nobody goes anywhere that you can see. Do you check in on the Clive dig at all during the day, or is this kind of a home day?
I think that'd be for William to decide.
I think William would really want to. He's been doing it this whole time, and then this would probably be like his first time not doing it. He's getting a little antsy or something. So
Okay.
he'd bring it up to the girls, and shouldn't we perhaps get a closer look at the camp?
You're the one who's mapped it out correctly, William. I feel that you don't need our permission. We're not your mums.
Unless you want us to be.
I don't know about that, Maxine.
She grins and gives Lottie a wink.
Lottie just frowns.
Well, I definitely think we should stick together.
You want to go up to that little lookout spot you had before?
Yes, I think that would do just fine.
Yeah, all right. Let's be careful, though. We don't want to get ourselves into any trouble we don't have to.
Agreed. Let's just be careful when you head up there.
Okay. So who's going up there?
I think we all
everyone? Okay. Let's see. I'd like one of you to give me a luck check then. How about Maxine?
Ah!
This is how I do. I don't follow the rules for group luck checks. Instead, I give a random chance to each of you, and that person makes the luck. The way the rules are written, you take the lowest luck of everybody, which I think is
probably
not fair. All right, so you're observing, and it is, I'd say, mid-afternoon. And you see a car proceeding down the road there from the north. First you see the dust cloud kind of kicking up, a little to the north and west.
So this is someone coming to the camp.
Yes, in the direction towards towards Memphis. You see it a fair ways off. So some vehicle is coming down the road, and it's not a well-traveled road. There's occasional trucks or cars that go by, mostly trucks. William, in the past, few days since you've been here, you saw one British military truck go by with, it looked like maybe 4 soldiers sitting in the back. They didn't look like they were doing anything particularly urgent, just driving on by. But
they didn't stop at the camps or anything?
No, they didn't stop at the camps. They just drove by and continued on south.
Well, take a look at that. Lottie, was there anybody missing from the camp that you could think of besides yourself?
Lottie thinks on it. I think she saw everybody there that she knew, right?
Mm-hmm. Certainly all the principals of the expedition were there. I don't know, is Lottie the kind of person who would have gotten to know some of the local workers, or is she more keeps separated from them?
I think she'd keep separate. She's more focused on the archaeology part than the socialization part.
Yep. Yeah, and they're a little rough and dirty, and I would imagine too, sort of a foreign Western woman would maybe feel a little uncomfortable getting too familiar with them. So, yeah, so you don't know if any of those, are any of the more important of the workers. You would probably, um, you'd probably be familiar with a couple of the more prominent ones that you'd have had to speak to, like foremen kind of things. But
Yeah. Lottie looks to Maxine, shaking her head. No, they're all there. I don't know. Maybe it's one of Al Shakti's men. You think?
It could be. They might be checking in to see how the whatever they're doing's going. She settles down even flatter against the rock that they're spying with their binoculars from, if possible. This should be interesting.
okay, so yes, you can see the car kind of winds its way down, and maybe surprisingly, I don't know, it turns into the camp, and you see driver get out and go around to the back of the car and let a man out. He's wearing a fez and has a beard and glasses, and he's got a couple of men with him. One in the front passenger seat, one in the back next to him. They both get out as well. They have a look of they look hardened. They're definitely desert men. And when they get out, you can see they both put on sword belts. They have curved blades. And they wait by the car. And this man goes into the camp. You can see Clive come out to meet him, and they shake hands, and then head back in towards the tent. And Lottie, you recognize also Martin Winfield, kind of hovering kind of nearby this guest, near Clive rather, and kind of following along. They don't seem to be giving him much attention. They're kind of talking to one another, and they go to the main tent and kind of go inside.
Did you ever lay eyes on Shakti, Lottie?
She did, right? She.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, and she knows his face. In fact, how does she respond when she recognizes him? She has seen him up close on several, I shouldn't say many, but several very terrifying occasions.
She kind of slides back, down the rock, kind of crawling away backwards, and starts breathing a bit heavily. And she just looks back to Maxine and nods. I have.
I take it from your reaction that's the fella.
It is that's him.
Who is this man?
As far as I understand, especially from the notes, he's a very, very powerful man here. I think he's, I think, a big reason why they even came here as well. Thaddeus and Natalia and Shelley.
Yeah, from what they told me, Nat and Thad had been taken prisoner by this guy for couple of days and came back much worse for wear. He's in charge here in Egypt, the big boss man, and not someone you want to cross unless you can. Well, unless you're sure you can kill him. I guess we'll keep an eye out for a couple of minutes, but then maybe we ought to get back to our camp. I don't want to risk getting seen.
Neither do I.
And William, I'm gonna let you make a credit rating check to see if you've heard of El Shakti at all in Egyptian society. You have indeed. In fact, you know, and you also know that the British local government, at least, knows that while he does a very good job of putting on a show of being an upstanding, very wealthy, he is very wealthy, member of Cairo society, there's strong suspicion that he has his fingers in a number of illegal underworld activities in the city. So you know a little bit about him.
William is gonna get down as well, and he's starting to he's gonna scribble these in his notes. Scribble down the name and and that they're meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it would not shock William, I would think, that maybe Al Shakti is involved in this disappearance. He's definitely known discreetly to be involved in the black market. So
They might witness even him, perhaps looking at a pocket watch or whatever, to keep track of that time it's happened or whatnot.
So they've all gone into Clive's tent, or are they walking around the camp?
Just Clive, and Winfield and Al Shakti have gone into the camp. Oh, little baby Winfield, isn't that cute? There we go. They all go inside the main tent, and the tent flaps were open before they went in, so you could see that there was nobody else in the main tent when they went in. So once they go in, they close the flaps. The only person going in and out then is one of the kind of camp servants who makes some tea and brings it into them. But then they come back out not too long after. So it looks like it's a private meeting. You still see you see Johanna Speck and James Gardner still going on with their work. Though you notice they both actually kind of look over at the tent curiously every now and then. But they're not included.
He's a dangerous man indeed. Interesting.
Look, it's making me real nervous being here. But if he made the drive all the way down here, yeah, chances are he's gonna stop in town for some refreshment before he heads back. Personally, I think we should head back to our camp while they're busy.
I think so, sir.
William's still peeking around. He's listening, but peeking around the rock, and I wouldn't give to be a fly on the wall of that tent. Then he looks over and notices them looking. Yes, let's get back.
Okay, so you all kind of make your way back to your tent. So what are you doing when you get back there?
Um, I think I'm going to move the truck a little farther. I think during the day we're gonna be able to hear anybody going by on the road, and maybe start to get cleaned up for heading into town because she's thinking that there's a better chance now, maybe in the next few hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We could go into town already and kind of wait there, but I don't know where we'd be waiting other than the restaurant.
That'd really be
I think
the
we
only
should do that.
place.
Yeah, there aren't many public places in the village. There's the restaurant, there's a mosque, and there's a bazaar, which isn't really a formal, thing. It's just people setting up stands and that. So other than that, it's private homes and villas, a few.
I think maybe if we head to the bazaar for a moment, change up my appearance. I'd rather not get spotted by anyone from the expedition.
Ah, all right. Yeah. What you have in mind? What do you want to look for?
Just something to mainly cover my hair. I feel like it stands out a little bit.
Yeah, it's real nice, but I see what you're saying. Like a hat. You don't want to dye it, do you?
No. Some sort of head cover or something of the like.
Skies.
Exactly.
William smiles and nods.
Okay. What are you so happy about?
All
Sorry,
right.
I missed what you're doing.
Liza, what are you so happy about?
Disguise. A great idea.
She just gives William a look up and down, looks back to the town. I might as well go now then.
All right, go fetch the car again.
Fetch the vehicle.
You could walk. It's a bit of a walk, though.
No vehicle.
All right, so yeah, you drive into the village, and stop at the bazaar, which is still going, and so it looks like you want a change of clothes. You're trying to, they have a few things like a nice wide brimmed hat that's sort of that's Egyptian, like a style, like a field worker's hat, but they just have little bits of Western things. So, are you looking to try to look local? Is that the aim here?
We should get something that is a local outfit just to swap into if she needs to, but then she'll also get kind of a wide brimmed hat in order to kind of pin up her hair underneath it so it's just the hat showing.
Well, you know what? They actually have who knows where they got it from, but it looks like an English hat, like a khaki woman's wide hat. Obviously used, but that might do the trick.
It looks good enough, even if it is English.
Yeah. Okay, so you're all sort of getting some different things just to change up your appearance. Is that correct, or is it just Lottie?
Yeah, I mean, might as well. Any excuse to go shopping for Maxine.
Oh, you'll get some fine deals here in Mitrahina. All right. Yeah, and as soon as they see that you're willing to buy some things, I mean, you just get mobbed by sellers. They all trying to outdo each other in deals and making recommendations of what you would look, breathtaking in this, and no, you would look like a goddess in this, and all of that. William, they assume that you are the man with the money bag, and so they're appealing to the women to sell, and then they kind of look to you to pay.
Yeah, he'll actually do that if he can.
That depends on whether they let you.
I'm gonna say no.
Max had been reaching into her own purse, but when he offers, she says, well, hey, you are a gentleman. And she seems quite pleased that you've offered to pay.
He smiles and is if he notices that they're like to be finished, say have to step away for a moment. Send a message. Should we meet up again? Just here?
How about the place we were at before?
How about back at the car? I'm sure it's parked like at the side of the road somewhere.
Yeah, that's up to
I mean,
you.
we can't park right in the middle of the bazaar, can we?
Not exactly. Yeah, that's not exactly what you would do, but yeah, and the bazaar is more on the outskirts of the village, so to make it easy for any diggers to come up. So yeah, you would just like be parked right outside, I would assume.
Can we see the road from where we're parked? I mean, the main road.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because the whole village is kind of on a plateau. It's all raised, so you can see down. You can't see it from anywhere in the village, but from the bazaar is kind of like here. You can see down to the road. So am I to take it you're trying to keep an eye on the road too?
We
Max
could go
is.
back to the car.
Okay. All right. So so it sounds like you're splitting up for a short time. William needs to take care of an errand, and what do you two do?
Max turns to Lottie. So, who do you think he's writing to?
Not quite sure. Maybe someone he's working for. Maybe the English government or some sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's never back home. Who knows?
No, I don't think it's a girlfriend.
No, he's not the type.
That's not exactly what I meant, but yeah.
I mean, he's not the type of man to be able to hold a girlfriend overseas.
Still, I'm curious about exactly what he's up to.
Well, I do have the disguises to look like common folk.
Yeah, still, I know he's probably going to the telegraph office. I don't know if we can really, get up close enough to see what he's,
You could have 10 people there, Maxine.
I'm not bad.
Why don't I head for the vehicle and you see what our friend William's doing?
She gets kind of a sparkle in her eye. You talked me into it. All right, this is probably a stupid idea. But she, actually... Yeah, she's gonna take off after William and see where he goes.
Lottie,
Okay.
I'll go back to the car.
Okay. All right. So William, and I assume you're trying to do it surreptitiously.
Yeah.
So why don't we have a spot hidden versus William's sneak? Because I assume you are trying to, or stealth rather. William, you can make a stealth check, and Maxine a spot hidden check.
Opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maxine's making a stealth check, right?
No.
Oh.
He's trying to not be seen where he's
Oh,
going.
gotcha. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and you're trying to follow him. Yeah, I could do it the other way around too, right? But okay, so
Oh.
nobody gets an advantage there. So you have a choice, Maxine. You can either back off, or he might spot you, because you'll have to make it more obvious to follow him. You're kind of losing him. He seems, he doesn't seem like he's being super careful, but
I think she'll push forward a little bit.
all right. So now let's do the opposite.
Yes.
William is looking, and you're sneaking. All right. He does not notice you. So, what does Maxine see, William? When she
Maxine would see him going, into the to a place where he can send the telegram, I suppose.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, there's like one little sad telegraph station, right? It's like with this old Arab guy just sitting there in the shade, looking hot and miserable. And when you come in, he just kind of stirs himself, and with very little interest.
imagine she might be able to even get the name, perhaps, of I mean, if that's possible, of who he's sending this to.
Mm-hmm, because he's speaking it, but he's saying it in Arabic, I assume, right? Telling him
Because
what
I'm
to
sure
write.
it'd probably be written on the telegram at the top or something like that.
Yeah, he has to fill out a little thing, and then.
Well, she's probably not. I mean, she would overhear what you would say, probably. I don't know if she'd be close enough that she could actually read anything, but she's got a plan for that anyway.
Okay. So I'll say she doesn't see the
Mm-hmm.
on it, but
you can see him writing it, but
definitely a telegram back to London.
okay.
She'll wait for him to be done and headed away, and then she would approach the telegraph station.
Mm-hmm. He seems shocked to have two customers.
Just out of curiosity, would I be waiting on an answer back, or
if you're
would
sending it,
I'd be coming back
if you're
maybe in a
sending it
couple days
all
or
the way
something
to
like that,
London,
or-
yeah. So your more immediate contact would be Cairo, but if you're sending it all the way back to London, then yeah, you would not expect to hear back till tomorrow.
Darren, are you muted?
Oh, I'm not muted, but Discord's
you now.
Discord's doing its usual thing where it just decides it doesn't like me anymore, and I have to leave and come back. Yeah, so I was saying, if you're sending it all the way to London, you won't hear back for a whole day, for sure.
Okay.
If you're sending to Cairo, you would expect maybe to hear back if it was urgent,
Okay. Oh, check. Am I sending it to Cairo?
Probably. I mean, Cairo is far more likely, unless it's something really big, because you're.
And yes, he is sending it.
Yeah.
He is sending it to Cairo.
Okay. So it's possible. It depends on how urgent. If you're asking for some urgent reply, you might get something. Otherwise, you wouldn't expect to hear back till tomorrow, because it's already kind of in the afternoon.
I guess I should write to you maybe a little note to.
Just a general idea of what it is. It doesn't have to be the exact. Although you might just be able to say it because if Maxine gets her way, it sounds like she's going to know what's in it anyway. So William heads off, and Maxine comes in, and as I was saying, this guy looks very surprised to have two customers so close together, and he just kind of raises his eyebrows and says, he says in sort of poor English, "Miss, yes." Oh no, I'm not muted again, am I? Now I'm not hearing you guys. Oh, jeez. Hello?
Hello.
Okay, yeah, now it cut you guys out. So weird. Anyway, so I didn't hear anything that you said.
Okay, she's gonna approach the station,
Mm-hmm.
and she's gonna look angry
Mm-hmm.
and kind of stiff-backed, and she approaches and she says, "Excuse me, do you happen to speak English?"
He holds up his hand like to make a small gap between his thumb and finger.
She points the direction that William just left in. "My husband was just here," and then she points here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, he kind of looks over at the back of the guy that's almost disappeared down the street, and then back at you. Yeah, you're not sure he's following, but he's trying to because he can see you're very agitated.
"He has a problem with trollops," and then she just kind of makes an hourglass figure shape, "in Cairo."
Yeah, very, very quick, very, very quick.
"I need to see what he wrote. I
He,
do not trust."
he takes out a piece of paper and pushes it over and gives you a like a little graphite pencil and says, very quick, right, a message and quick, very quick, and he makes the hourglass sign.
No. "I want to," and she points at her own eyeballs, "see," and then she points where William went, "he," and then she writes, makes a writing symbol, "wrote," and she pulls out like a $5 bill or something.
Ooh, wow, that's a lot.
Yes, it is.
He so
Like if she can see a stack of correspondence,
yeah.
where this guy put it, she'll just point to it.
Oh yeah, I mean he was just taking it back and was looking it over like he was about to maybe send it when you came, and so he set it down next to the transmitter and came back. So you point to it, and he kind of gets it, and he looks at the $5, and you can see he takes it though. He takes the $5 and he goes over and he brings you the message.
What does it say, Rogue?
To Sir Edmund Allenby. Should I go ahead and just read this?
Yeah.
Okay. Cairo. Trouble with the Clive expedition. Dr. Henry Clive meeting with Omar al-Shakti. They are up to no good and may be in league with some strange, dangerous cult. I have not infiltrated Clive's camp, awaiting further orders.
And Maxine, you can make a credit rating check for me. Oh, you happen to remember who Sir Edmund Allenby is. He is the governor of Cairo. You were given a flyer from him on your way, not directly from his hand, obviously, but a flyer when you arrived. for the dear honored guest.
She remembers that she's got that somewhere in her luggage and means to pull it out again as soon as she gets back to camp. She reads through it quickly and nods and smiles, kind of bows at the guy. Thank you so much. And then she'll put another dollar on top and wink and, put her finger to her lips about, let's keep this hush hush.
He looks at takes the dollar and nods, and he's obviously not sure whether your intention is to take the message and not have him send it, or whether you're just giving it back to him.
No, she'll give it back to him and say, send this.
And he says, quick, quick, and does the hourglass sign with his hands. And he smiles and goes over to the transmitter. You and it seems you've just brightened his day.
She ponders what he could possibly mean about the hourglass. But she'll head back to the car, possibly getting there after William does.
You make your way back toward the car. Lottie, you have been at the car, and make a luck check for me.
Okay. Oh, yes.
All right, well, you happen to be looking in the rearview mirror and can see dust rising up, coming towards the village along the track.
She's going to quickly pin her hair up and put in that hat and kind of sit back in the vehicle a little bit and then peep her head out. Just her eyes kind of above the sill, just watching, seeing it go by, see if she can see inside.
It is the same vehicle. It's Omar Al-Shakti's vehicle.
Oh, yep, she's going to quickly hide when she sees that. And knowing the other two are out there, ooh. She's gonna.
Actually, you look over and you see William is like just emerging from the village and heading back toward the car as Al-Shakti's vehicle is making its way up towards the village.
Oh no. I think what she'll do is it's making its way up to the village. She'll quickly slip out of the other side of the vehicle and kind of quickly, not run, but walk very fast up to and immediately kind of grab him by the arm. To William.
He's too far away to get to him before the car gets in. The car will be, by your estimation, the car will probably pull up or past your car in about 20 seconds, and he's a good minute walk away. Like you see him coming out, and there's no way you're going to make it to him before the car gets there.
Oh no. I don't know if he knows William though, so I think he'll be okay. I guess Lottie will just grab the shotgun that's in the back and just hold it and just kind of watch.
So she stays in the car with the shotgun.
Yeah, hiding.
Okay, and kind of crouch down. Make a sanity check for me.
Okay.
Just want to see how your nerves are holding up under him.
They're
okay. just holding on. Okay. So yeah, the car pulls in and drives right past you, and William, that's like as it's passing passing their car, that's when you see it, and you obviously recognize it immediately as Al-Shakti's vehicle, because you saw it before when it was coming in, into Clive's camp. So, what do you do when you see the car pulling towards it? It's almost heading right in your direction. It does not seem to be going to stop at the bazaar. It looks like it's going to go into the village.
William will he'll gander at the car. Is Clive in there?
Make make a spot hidden check for me.
There's no way he can really hide. So
Yeah, he's not really hiding so much, but it's very dusty. The
I mean,
windshield is not very clear, but yet you do not see Clive. Um, you see, but you definitely make out. You recognize the driver that you saw through the binoculars and the one of the sword-bearing men in the passenger seat, and you definitely, as the car gets closer, see Al Shakti in the back seat on the
okay.
driver's side.
I was saying there'd be no way for like William to hide, right? There's nowhere for
Oh,
him to make home.
make a luck check for me. Let's just see if if there's something nearby you could quickly duck into. But even then, so yes, there is, but there is a chance that in ducking behind it, you might be seen ducking behind it.
Right, might be drawing some attention. He'll
Yeah.
just maybe like move his hat or shift his hat a little bit and put his head down, kind of. Still,
Mm-hmm.
try to act normal and just like he's walking along the road.
Yep. Okay. The car drives by. Do you look in the car as it drives by, or are you avoiding?
He'll kind of glance. He will try to glance in the car, but not like looking suspiciously.
Yep. All right. You glance at the car, and you can see Al Shakti. As the car drives by, he's looking right at you, but it's um, like your eyes meet for a moment. Um, you don't notice any particular immediate reaction, but then the car is by and continues on into the village. And incidentally, in your glance too, you could confirm that Clive is also not in the back seat with Al Shakti. It's the other person, the other sword-bearing gentleman.
And then he'll keep approaching the car. He'll probably notice that Maxine isn't there.
Yeah, when he gets to the car, because Lottie's sort of hiding it. In fact, I think at first it looks like nobody's at the car, like they didn't wait for him or something.
Okay. Do we want to do Maxine first?
Well, you see Lottie for sure first.
Okay. He'll walk up and he will say something. Everything all right?
Kind of pokes her head up from the back of the vehicle. You saw the vehicle, didn't you?
Yes. Go on now. Where's Maxine?
Well, she went to the loo.
And he turns around and looks back towards the village and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't see Maxine anywhere. I mean, not that. I mean, there's plenty of village you can't see, so, from where you are. So, yeah.
Should we head on in?
What do you mean? Follow? From where?
We can get a closer look, find out what Omar's up to.
Lottie takes a deep breath. I'm not sure about that, William. What exactly would we be looking for? We know he's here. We know he's not doing the best things. What more do you need to know?
And William will notice her uncomfortable behavior and is that the man that tortured you?
Lottie nods. Yes.
Oh, good God. Well, he definitely saw me. Looked right at me.
Have you had run-ins with him before?
No, I know of him, though.
I'm not sure how he'd know about you, then.
I doubt he would know of me, but oh, he's a dangerous man.
And this is when you see Maxine making her way across the bazaar toward the car.
She is walking rather quickly, her shoes making clip-clop sounds on the road, and she waves at you all apologetically. Sorry that took so long. And then she looks at their faces. So, what's going on here?
Omar just drove by.
Oh, oh. She hops in. Are we gonna follow him?
I don't think Lottie is up to that.
Well, we could go see if he's heading to the restaurant. And, Lottie can always stay in the truck if she doesn't feel up to a confrontation, which is totally understandable.
I'll put on this disguise, I guess. Maybe if I just hide my face. I mean, I'm not wearing things that I normally wear. I don't know if you'd notice. I just don't want to get too close, but I don't want to be sitting on the sidelines,
Yeah, here. And she kind of tosses her handbag over. I got a lot of cosmetics in there, if that'll help at all.
Lottie kind of looks down at the cosmetics and starts pulling out. I haven't ordered anything like this since before I went to school.
You'd be surprised what I actually look like under all this, she says, kind of pointing at her face.
Are you sure you look very close to the same?
Yeah, we'll say that.
Lottie will kind of put on some of the makeup, just maybe a little bit heavy-handed, but trying to cover up and then put back on the wide-brimmed hat.
I could do your eyebrows, make them a little more in vogue. In 1920s, they're like non-existent eyebrows.
Take them off. Sure.
I think she takes a couple minutes to help her, and then they'll head down the road.
Okay.
I think they go pretty slow, just trying to look to the right and the left. I mean, they think he probably headed up to the restaurant, but if he knows somebody else in town, he could have headed there too. They might just have lost him.
Yeah, okay. So as you go in, you can see that people are starting to all sort of move towards the mosque. And William would immediately recognize, it's time for prayers.
And he'll let them know about that. Like it's time for the daily prayer.
Well, I don't think he means it, but I know he's a big faker. They mentioned that that mosque, back in Cairo that got attacked. Well, he was behind it, and I think he was pretty well known at the mosque, so he must be maintaining appearances anyway of being a upright sort of fella.
So when she refers to an attack on a mosque, you actually would, William, recall that there was a massacre at the Mosque of Ibn Tulun, which is in southern Cairo, in kind of a poor neighborhood, and it is it's sort of like a Muslim insane asylum. It is a mosque, but its primary purpose is to shelter those who have been kissed by Allah in that way. And there was a kind of a scandalous, maybe scandalous isn't the right way, but a terrible massacre there. Apparently one of the inmates or guests there lost it and somehow got hold of a sword and started hacking people to bits, killing several of the several of the holy men and other people there. It was handled by the investigation and all that was handled by the Egyptian government. They did not want the British involved, and that kind of made sense to the British not to get not to stick their nose in that one.
And she was, and Maxine was just saying Omar was involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
So we should get a closer look. What about this coat? You think they're involved in that?
The people at this mosque? Well, back in Cairo, they sure wasn't. They was well, gosh, Lottie, that nice old man who came out of the underground with you. He was the priest of that. Well, what do they call it? It's not a priest, right? It's an imam.
Yep.
It takes a minute searching for the right word.
Yeah. No, I remember the imam. He wasn't able to speak much. They beat him much more severely than they did me.
I sure hope he's okay. He made it to the hospital all right, but Shakti catches wind, and she shakes her head. Anyway, my point is, William, doesn't necessarily mean that the locals are involved. He might be just a big faker.
Try looking, I guess.
So are you walking towards the mosque as you're talking, or are you hanging back?
I think we'd be walking towards it.
Are we slipping on robes or anything, or are we just going as English?
I put it on the robe, so I'm still dressed up as an English person.
All right, so we'll go as English people.
Okay. I'm going to show you a map of the village. And so you can kind of see. So you've kind of made your way from over in that direction is where the car in the bazaar is. And Al-Shakti's car drove down the street this way. And you see his car parked around the corner. This is the mosque here. And you can see this is the driver and the guy that's in the front was in the front seat. And they're just standing like this guy's just standing like leaning against the back of the car, and this guy is kind of standing to the side of the entrance to the mosque, and people are kind of going in past him, pretty much ignoring him, he's ignoring them. And
where's the entrance? I'm sorry. Right here.
Here's the entrance to and here is the restaurant. By the way, it's right across the street.
Yeah, Lottie points out the restaurant. I don't want to go sit in there and just watch, maybe.
That's a good idea. Let's take the long way around, head around the block here. Yeah. Well, actually, there's only one entrance, right? It's right there.
Um, let's see. Uh, it's the only. There was a little side entrance that William would have noted here. That goes in as well.
Yeah, let him know. It's a back entrance.
Well, yeah, let's do that instead. So I think they kind of hustle around the block.
Okay. So yes, you do that, and as you cross through here, you notice the guy just leaning against the car, and he doesn't seem to be taking too much notice of you particularly.
Keep it casual, Maxine says, just looking to the others with kind of a conversational smile.
He tries not to fidget with the hat too much.
Okay. So yeah, you're at you enter in the back. There is nobody here right now. Even the proprietor is gone.
Guess just make ourselves comfortable, where we get a good view.
Can we hear what's going on inside the mosque?
Yeah, you vaguely hear they're already starting prayers.
Yeah.
Lottie will listen in for sure, just to see if there's anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. You can try an Arabic roll.
Okay.
Oh, what you can pick up sounds quite legit. You would I'm going to say with that roll, you are very familiar with the routine prayers for afternoon prayer, and this sounds not at all out of the ordinary.
Lottie's very quiet and she listens in. She looks through the tune, a bit of a lower tone. Seems like everything's in order over there. Doesn't seem like they're talking about anything out of the ordinary, at least.
Yeah, you keep your ear on that, but this guy who runs the restaurant, I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's a straight arrow, but seeing as he's not here, maybe we could, you can keep your eye over on the mosque, and I could maybe snoop around a little.
Sure. Yeah.
He nods at that, and he's like, I did get a strange feeling. Then again, ever since you've mentioned that cult to me, I've seemed to think everybody's involved.
Yeah, funny how that happens. Something gives me the feeling that you have had a little bit of practice snooping around yourself, William.
Raises an eyebrow, and as you could say that.
You want to divide up the work?
Sure. Like some stairs there.
So, if you happen to spy anything that strikes you as strange, anything especially that has an upside-down ankh, something with people with animal heads or extra arms, just give you a creepy feeling. Don't take it or nothing, but that should tell us something.
Good. And start to look around as well and see if.
And Lottie knows you have about 15 minutes once the prayers start. It's not that long.
All right, so this looks like it might be personal quarters.
Yes.
And this is kitchen, maybe?
But that's not. Yeah, this is kitchen. This is like storage stuff. There is an upstairs. This actually is not even directly connected. So this, there's a door here. You're not sure what that is, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
and there's a door, so it might not even be open. I guess Max will head upstairs. Lottie, you better give me some sort of a signal if I'm taking too long.
Want me to hoot or something? I'm not really good at the espionage.
Well, I think you can just call out my name.
Yes, of course.
All right, so Maxine's heading upstairs. William, what are you doing? Are you going up too? Or what?
If they're both going upstairs, is there anywhere that I should search for?
Lottie's gonna go to the front door and kind of keep an eye out. There's actually little windows that are kind of perfect to.
Yeah, she'll do that. Squat and look in above the sill.
You could go for this one or look in here. If this is locked, I can help you out.
They're not.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's locks are extremely rare. Nothing's locked. So
Start with
you
this
go-
room first.
Yeah, this just looks like a small apartment. So yeah, you can toss that pretty fast. Are you? So here's the big question: are you going for speed, or are you trying to be careful in not making it clear you were here? Like, the fastest way to do it is to just start rifling through whatever you find and not worry about making sure it's all put back nice and neat, right? There's
Right.
not a lot. I mean, the thing is, it's very there. This is a pretty sparse apartment. It's very simple.
Tossing a place
We'll
is
try
not
to-
Max's style, personally.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I probably toss the place.
Don't care. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and make a spot hidden check for me, then, William. And Maxine, you go up and you can see it's like clearly the home apartments for the proprietor.
All right, she's
He appears
Mostly
to live alone. From your
Okay.
initial impression.
she figures even living alone, if there was anything creepy, he'd still tuck it out of the way. So she'll just kind of like lift up a mattress, and just in case it wasn't clear because my fan was running, she is not gonna be really messy about it. She'll try to put things back the way they.
Okay.
Me-
So
me too.
William, you get a bonus die on your spot hidden because you're not being very careful. You're going for finding stuff as opposed to being careful you weren't seen.
I actually do want to be careful.
Okay, then it's just a regular spot hidden for both of you. You are both, you run out of time. The prayers, Lottie, you can see that you know everything's winding down, and they have about like 2 minutes. And your experience with Muslim is probably, when it's done, people are going to start coming out very quickly after. Like, they do this every day, so there isn't a lot of ceremony. It's not like a Sunday church where people linger. They come here, they do their thing, 15 minutes, and they leave.
Can we
calls
use
out.
luck after? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can spend luck, or you can
Push.
you can push the roll. Those are, and I would let you push it in this case. The problem is you're running out of time. So, and you know that you're not done. Really, you haven't really done a thorough check. So, if you want to push it, that's fine. If you fail after pushing it, though, something untoward's going to happen, and it's probably going to have to do with you taking too long to get out of there. And the other option is you can spend luck to make up the difference, which in this case, for William, that would be prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
Or you can just, accept the failure and leave.
Can always try again next prayer day.
Yeah, I think I'm going to accept it for now and head back in there when she gives us the warning.
Okay.
You know, she kind of
Maxine?
calls out.
Yeah, Max comes clattering down the stairs, kind of quickly walks over to the table and seats herself there, readjusting her, skirt and her hair.
Maybe we should, I don't know, come in after they've been dismissed. I feel like that might be a bit less suspicious.
All right, act like we're waiting outside, real polite, like.
Exactly. Come on, William, get your big feet out of here.
Okay.
Lottie is going to kind of shimmy, though, over to the other side of the building, just to keep eyes on this car. She kind of points over before she just darts and runs kind of behind here just to look.
Okay. Well, you see Al Shakti come around. Obviously leaving from the mosque with other people. And he's walking side by side with a man that he did not come with. And the two of them start to walk down the street this way. And they're clearly having, friendly conversation. It's clear from their body language and the way they're behaving that they clearly know one another.
Lottie
And the one that was in the back seat before just kind of follows along kind of at a distance, and this one kind of falls in with him. So the two guys go, and this guy kind of stays with the car.
Lottie sees that, and she quickly kind of hurries back to William. That Al Shakti's going off with someone, I think, from. It seems they're having a friendly conversation. Should we tell him? He's got followers, so he's the only thing people are watching out for him.
William will follow with her.
Okay.
Like it's so much easier too to move through the crowd. She's assuming they're just going straight this way.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Yeah, there's plenty of people kind of walking past you, and they take notice of you, but it's, they've seen Westerners here a fair amount. This is, as I said, there's been countless digs in Memphis, so it's not strange to see Westerners. So, yes, they are clearly heading towards this villa here. And this guy clearly, it makes a kind of a gracious, sweeping gesture of, welcome into my house kind of thing. And Omar goes in, and he goes in after him. And then these two just kind of sort of casually take up positions on either side of the door and just stand there.
Lottie looks back to the other two. Alright, so there's a couple options. You could either go back to that restaurant and maybe ask to see who lives in that estate there, just to get an idea of who he's talking to. The other thing is going around this building here, seeing if there's any other entrances.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to bust in and broad daylight? I mean, what would be the end game there?
I'm just talking about listening.
Yeah. Uh, we could walk around, see if we can spot any windows. We don't know where exactly they went in there, and most of the windows stay open during the day, letting a breeze in. Might be able to overhear that way.
True. Right. Let's take the long route.
All right. So I think we're gonna walk around this building and then come in around here and try to see if we can see, their figures through a window or hear their voices through a window walking around the estate.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I just need, let's see, Maxine to make a stealth check. I'll give you 2 bonus dice because you're only momentarily visible.
Sheesh, good thing you did.
Okay. Yep. You don't seem to arouse any particular interest in anybody.
And then I think we just kind of act like we're admiring the architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Stopping in the shade of a palm tree.
Wow, it's so amazing.
There are a couple of people working in here. It seems this guy owns a pottery business that works out of the back here. So there are a few workers. There's a little bit going on. They only take momentary notice of you, but you realize if you're going to hang around here, it may look a little suspicious over time.
I think we can walk around more, maybe. I mean,
asked that guy if to buy some pottery, or to look at it at least.
Oh, nice.
The foreman of the group explains to you in Arabic that the pottery is for export only. No sales here.
He'll nod. Thank you.
Ask him what exactly they make, if they got any samples, because
Do they ship to New York?
Your import-export business, you might be looking for some things to sell in bulk.
He seems a little irritated by your question, actually. And he says you would have to speak to Mr. Said about any kind of such arrangement.
Said.
Yes. He says this is Mr. Said's estate.
Can we spot any samples of what they're making?
Sure. They don't look particularly notable. They're vases and bowls, jars, all ceramic.
William will be like, "This is beautiful."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the craftsmanship looks decent, but you can make an appraise roll if you want to see if you can see anything, notable about it.
He's just like
I got some appraisal, but
trying to talk it out.
Yeah, I mean it looks rather unremarkable to you. Probably not worth very much. But the workmanship's fine. It's just nothing awe-inspiring. And then he kind of sees you, and you can see him growing a little impatient. And he says, "If you like, I will tell Mr. Said when his guest has gone that you that you would like to meet with him.
Says, what do you say, honey?
Who is he looking at when he says that?
Yes, that is the big question, isn't it?
Lottie. I'll definitely look at Lottie.
Lottie looks to. Well, no, it's fine. I'm sure that we don't want to be bothering these people any more than we have. And she looks at them. Thank you very much.
He doesn't look like he speaks any English at all, so he just kind of nods a little bit, barely acknowledging you, and takes the pot back. And he says, "And if you will excuse me, sir," in Arabic, of course, we must get back to work.
William will thank him for his time in Arabic.
And and then he turns and returns to his workshop.
Do we want to walk all the way around? See if we hear anything else interesting?
I don't know if we should sneak further, like go this way and then go this way.
Sure, why not?
Do it. We're tourists.
We're big tourists, really.
We're white
So,
people, it's fine.
It may just be my suspicious nature and my background talking, but people who export pottery, there's usually something in that pottery.
Gee, I'm sure that do probably be just smoking in. Lottie's gonna crawl under this window.
May just be, Egyptian artifacts going to collectors.
I don't know about that. Maybe he's working with that Shakti.
Did sound bothered by our presence.
Yeah, they're just locals.
Maxine, make a luck check for me. All right.
Nope.
Yep. So you pass along. You don't hear anything, inside the building. And these are small windows. Clearly not. They're just meant to let some air in. They're not really meant for gazing out. It has a little bit of a private look to the building does.
Yeah. Keeping our ears open for conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear anything by the time we get here. Lottie's gonna look back at Maxine and
Yeah, you haven't.
Maxine is also casing the joint, as it were, should she want to return when it's darker.
Okay.
I don't know. See if we can slide inside and hear anything. I don't know exactly where they are, but
So over here, is this just a door?
Yes,
Is it closed?
it is closed.
Max will go up and put her ear up against it and see if she hears anybody working in there.
Make a listen check. No, you do not hear anybody in there.
William will look around too. Is there like any guards posted or anything
No.
like that?
Mm-mm. You haven't seen any sign of security beyond, El Shakti's two guys.
Is this a window right here?
It is, but it's high, it's like high up and narrow.
Okay.
You could boost yourself up though on the wood that's stacked there, but it's a little risky.
stand on William's shoulders.
Well, I'm not worried about getting hurt. I'm worried about passerbys.
Yeah, and I'm not showing people, but there are the occasional passerby, out this way or the other way. But this is not a high traffic area either. This is sort of on the outskirts of the village, on the village, and it's most of the activity takes place further in.
So would this require a climb check or a sneak check?
What are you trying to do?
If she climbed up there to have a peek inside the window.
I would just make it you could use dexterity or climb.
Okay.
It's not hard. It's more a question of balance, and if you slip, the whole pile could come rattling down, and you plummet down with it, and it would probably create quite a noise.
Okay. Max points. Kind of in both directions. It says keep a lookout. I'm just gonna take a quick peek.
All right. Just keep eyes out.
Did I pick you up?
I can climb up here.
All right, there's all right, there is a moment where it's certainly clear. It doesn't look like it's going to be dangerous, at least for the next 10 seconds, as far as Lottie and William can tell. There's hardly anything in William's direction to worry about. It's more Lottie. Nice. So you make it up there, and you boost yourself up and can peek through the window, and you actually see two peasant women. I'll call them peasants. That's probably not the right word. This is a kitchen, and they're preparing a meal, obviously, and they're working rather frantically, and you can hear them occasionally speaking, exchanging words or short phrases in a kind of workman kind of way, as they try to get this stuff put together.
Yeah, she, knowing that she's not going to understand anything interesting, quickly climbs down.
It didn't sound like it would be anything interesting anyway. It's more like, hand me this.
Yep.
Can you
more salt?
Right. It's not like they're having some kind of conversation. It's all very work related.
Yeah, that's the kitchen. There's a couple ladies working in there. They seem pretty stressed, actually.
I don't think we're going to be able to get in there.
Maybe not during the day, but, I'm pretty interested in what's in those pots. Maybe we can return this evening.
I mean, sure. Maybe, I don't know where else Shakti and his men are going to be going after this. I assume back to Cairo.
I guess Max will head over to this wall and say, well, guess this is kind of the end of the road for us over here. And they can't really peek through these windows. They're too high.
Yeah, you'd have to get boosted up. It definitely seems that the compound has been designed to be as theft-proof as possible. Most of the houses you see here, no such considerations, right? I mean, people assume that it's a tight-knit community, these villages, so they would know most of the people here. Thefts would be very rare, but clearly whoever put this villa together was not quite of that mindset.
And what was this guy's name again?
He said Mr. Saeed.
Saeed. There's some traffic here on this street.
Very occasionally, but it's not a high traffic area at all. There is much more traffic further up, like up here, along this way. That's where most of the foot traffic is around here.
Is this a house?
Let's see. Now it's just like a yeah, it's like a little it's like a shack house almost.
Is this a ladder?
Yes, to the roof. Most of the buildings here have flat, they're flat roofs, and people, hang out up on their roofs. It's very
Right, that's what
common.
I figured.
What are you thinking there, Roxy?
Yeah, I was thinking that with a pair of binoculars, you could get a decent look inside that house, especially when it gets dark and it's lighter on the inside than it is on the out.
The problem is the windows are so small, you're not going to get a great look
Yeah.
to the inside. You might get lucky, but it's not ideal.
Mm-hmm. But at least for now, I don't know. Might have better luck just trying to sneak in later. Do you want to head back to the restaurant?
We should head back to the restaurant, and then we can get eyes on our car. But let's go quite wide round, maybe around this house, and then back that way. The way we're giving him a wide berth.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If you do that, I'm not going to make you roll. They're still standing there. They look only, moderately alert. They don't really give off the air that they're looking for or expecting trouble. But they're not, they're also not just incompetent, they're not playing dice or anything. They are keeping a lookout.
The one bit far.
Whoa, that's a crazy path. Lottie pinballs off that building there.
Well, she zigs, then she zags.
Think of the serpentine.
If you're just heading around into the
Yeah.
restaurant, yeah, I'll teleport you. Yee. Crazy Lottie. Pinball Lottie. That's gonna be your new nickname.
Well, she was pretty banged up, so.
Yeah, that's true. She does look like she's been bumping into things. Well, the proprietor is definitely back, and there's a small group of Muslim men sitting at the table when you walk in. But clearly, when they see you, they kind of glance at the proprietor, and they all sort of get up and go and relocate onto the rug over there. And the proprietor kind of says, come, take a seat. And he starts clearing off the table for you.
We'll come in and thank him in Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
And take a seat as if nice and comfortable. Nothing's going on.
Yeah.
Can we smoke in here?
Of course. This isn't even the 21st century. In fact, I'd say it's almost required.
Yeah.
The men are certainly smoking really foul-smelling cheap cigarettes on their rug. So
Yeah, William will light one up.
And the proprietor says, "Ah, you look like you have just come from digging."
Yes, yes.
He says, "Are you with that expedition down there? The gentleman came from there the other night."
Yes, yes.
Ah, excellent. Well, you are welcome, and you should bring more of your colleagues. This is the only place to eat around here. And he smiles.
No, William will nod to him, and I will tell them all about it.
Yes.
Excellent food.
Excellent, excellent. He says, and then he does a few more little pleasantries. He's obviously a little on the silky smooth side with his customers, and he tries to, he wants to interest you in some food. Clearly, he says, I hope you can stay for more than tea. It is tea time, of course, but perhaps something more substantial.
We don't know we're in the mood for something more substantial. Right, William? You should tell him that. She'll speak in English to William, kind of
Mhm.
forgetting that she feigned ignorance before.
Yep. Okay. So you can order some food. There's apparently someone cooking in the back, because when he goes in the kitchen, you can hear him kind of relaying in Arabic what to make. But it looks like he's going to be participating in that. So what do you want to do here? Are you just waiting? Like, what's the angle? What's your he's gonna bring you food. It looks like these guys that are on the mat are here for a little while. They glance over at you occasionally. Yep.
Luxurious dinner. And maybe once it gets dark, we can scout that house again if nobody comes in. I don't know. Do you guys want to talk to the fellas on the rug and ask them if they know anything about Saeed the Potter? If you're thinking about doing business with him, does he have a good reputation?
Yeah, that's all you.
I like, out of character. I'm thinking I want to wait for that message, and if it was going to Cairo, it's possibly going to be back soon. I guess,
Maybe,
or at least
maybe.
tonight, maybe.
I mean, the telegraph has to get it. They have to write it down, send a messenger. Someone has to look at it. There's probably meetings. It's never quick, unfortunately.
Right. No, he's thinking he's probably going to stop by there later. So that's why I've got another idea, but I want to roleplay that one out, actually. So William kind of whispers it. I was thinking, I haven't run into Clive yet, but I tried to perhaps infiltrate the camp.
Do what exactly there, William? Say, oh, hello, I've just stumbled upon your camp. I thought I'd come in and say hi.
Well, I am an archaeologist, or anthropologist from Cambridge.
There's a huge difference between archaeology and anthropology, don't you there, William? I'm an archaeologist.
Yeah, well,
Still,
he's got a point. I mean, you can't exactly infiltrate. I don't know. What would you do once you was in there, William?
I'm still curious as to what's going on there. Where's the mummy?
The mummy's burned?
What?
My serum. No. She thinks for a moment. Nitocris.
Well, yeah, Nitocris was. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're digging for here, and it would be kind of helpful to know. I reckon you could stop and offer to help. I almost guarantee they're going to turn you down, but you still might see something when you're inside.
If you go there, and you see, friend there, Gardner.
Yeah,
I'll
your
write you a
friend.
note.
I was gonna.
Well, it's kind of funny you say that. You mentioned Gardner, and almost on cue, um, James Gardner comes walking in the door.
Yeah.
It's cool because I was just gonna ask about him.
I guess
Um,
Lottie would he spot us, or is he just
oh, there's no
walking
way
in?
he cannot. There's no way he could possibly miss you. I mean, there's, you know, there's hardly anybody in here. There's the group, and then of these guys, and then there's you. Now your back is to him, Lottie, so you don't actually see him, but William and Maxine see him kind of walk in, and I don't know if Lottie turns around or not.
Probably not, unless there's like a signal. But
Yeah.
So William would probably be like leaning in because he was about to ask about him anyway. And what about James? Then he would probably pause. Gardner. And he kind of points
Speak
behind
of the
Lottie.
speak of the devil, and he shall appear. He's right behind you, Lottie.
she'll spin around to look at James there, very surprised. James?
he he looks over like at the, he was looking at the direction of the table anyway, um, and kind of making like a friendly head nod to the two of you, and when you turn and see him and say that, his eyes just kind of widen, and he was taking out a cigar to light up, and he just like stops, and he's got his match like poised in front of the cigar, but he's not lighting it. Like he's seen a ghost, and he's not saying anything. Like, and then the match kind of starts to burn his finger, and he drops the match, and it kind of startles him out of it, and he says, "Lottie."
Hi, it's me.
I thought you were gone. Dr. Clive said you were most likely headed back to England. What are you doing here?
Oh, that's a long story there, James. Very
This was-
long story.
Well, it's right wonderful to see you. And he puts out his hand to shake your hand. He looks a little awkward, like he's not sure if he should hug you or shake your hand, so he just kind of puts his hand out to shake it.
Lottie will take his and shake it as firmly as she can, which is not fair. But she looks up. I don't know if we should be speaking here. Really, there's quite much that's been happening over the last few weeks. These are my new compatriots.
Oh. I'm James Gardner. Pleasure to meet you. Archaeologist. He puts out his hand to shake both of yours. He's a little on the short side, not very short. Maybe a little dumpy, but not too heavy. And his dress is quite casual for the archaeologist. Like he's got shorts and boots. He actually, come to think, he's a little bit like, reminds me a little of Jack Black. The way he kind of presents himself.
Perfect.
I love him already.
And he just says, pleasure to meet you, ma'am, and you, sir.
Lottie, you didn't tell me that your friend was such a looker, she says, holding out her hand.
He kind of makes this incredulous look, and he turns to you, Lottie, and says, well, I rather like your friends already. May I join you?
Of course, of course. It's been
He takes
few
a
weeks.
seat. He says, "Well, you'll have to tell me everything. I'm I have to say I'm really surprised to see you, Lottie. You
Uh,
left without saying anything. It has left us all a little flummoxed."
Suddenly, Maxine looks a little alarmed and she kind of looks around the room for a minute. Oh, gosh. Are you expecting any of your friends to come? Should we
Ah,
save room for them at the table?
Guy says, "Nah, nah. I'm the one that does all of the quartermastering, you might say." And he
Ah,
smiles. He says, "No, there's
well,
a couple of lads come with me, but they seem to like to do their own thing, so I don't mind."
that's a shame. But she looks relieved and sits back on her stool.
And he kind of turns to Lottie and he says, "Can you imagine Joanna coming out for drinks with us?"
No, no, I very much couldn't.
I don't think that would fit in her strict regime.
She's got a bit too much sand in the crotch. Don't think she would.
He looks at you and realizes it's kind of an inside, and he just says, "Really stiff German woman. Not exactly my my idea of a great working companion. I much preferred the company of Lottie here."
As do we. So we got something else in common.
So,
Good looks and good taste in
tell me
friends.
how you snatched away our star archaeologist then.
Well, that's where the long story comes in. How long you in this area for? Specifically, this place.
You mean, how long are we staying in Memphis, or how long am I staying in this establishment?
This
And
establishment.
the proprietors come over to take, get him something too, and he says, "I'll just have whatever they're having. It's fine." And he says, "Oh well, I've just got to get supplies back to the camp, and beyond that, I mean, I think I could stay for a while if you're wanting my company." And he smiles again.
Enjoy that. Well, first of all, I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention to the others that you saw me.
"Oh, well, if you like." He seems a little, a little surprised by that. He says, guess you never really did get on with the others, did you?"
It's honestly mostly Clive and Winfield.
"Well, sure. Winfield's a prick, and Clive's, well, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest. I'm not even sure why I'm here anymore." He
Oh,
kind of
what?
takes another puff on his cigar.
What are they doing at the dig anyway? I mean, this wasn't on the agenda.
"Now, your guess is as good as mine." He says, "Clive doesn't seem to have any particular goal in mind, to be honest. My impression is he's just, I don't know, waiting out something. The scandal to die down? I don't know."
So you remember? If you want to know why I've been gone for so long, there's one thing that I want to ask you. If you remember, you remember that book you wrote about the underground city underneath the Sphinx?
Well, it wasn't really a book about the city, I just mentioned it. I don't want to make more out of it than it really was, but yes, yeah.
Well, you're not really making more out of it. There really is a city underneath the Sphinx.
He looks at you for a minute, and then he just starts laughing, and he said, "You really had me going there for a minute. I believed you."
Oh, I can show you exactly where the entrance is if you'd really like.
"Really?"
Really?
He says, "Lottie, you're something." He says, "That's nice of you to try to cheer me up." He says, I've given up on that for now. I tried to get Clive to stay He's... Yeah, he doesn't listen to me. I don't think I'm ever gonna find that.
Yeah, here. After this or before it or whatever, I'll show you exactly what I mean. But Lottie kind of brings up her arms and pulls up the sleeves, kind of showing the deep bruising that she had.
What in God's name? He says, Lottie, what happened? He kind of tentatively reaches out, but stops short of actually touching your arms and just kind of looks. And he says, that's bloody ghastly. Who would do such a thing? He says, that doesn't look like an accident.
Apparently this is what happens when you follow after Winfield and Clive to see exactly what they're doing when they go back inside my serum when everyone else is asleep.
What?
Hey,
Wait.
that's what happened.
You can see his kind of his mind processing, and so that night, that's where you went?
Yes,
and
the
that's
night.
where Clive and he stops. He says, yeah, that strange man. He's back, by the way.
What strange man?
I don't know his name. Just some big Cairo businessman. I assumed it was someone Clive is looking for funding from or something. He, the night that Lottie, well, I guess we thought abandoned us.
You think I'd
he and
really...
some of his, well, I don't. You were pretty clearly unhappy, Lottie. Didn't surprise me. I think I was your only friend on the team, wasn't I? He kind of
You
winks
were.
at you. He says, and look at me, I'm not much company.
I better company than they ever were.
It's, well, it's nice of you to say. But, yeah, I mean, I noticed Clive and Winfield leaving camp that night with the stranger, but I just thought they were, I don't know, going somewhere. And Winfield told me to just go back to my tent and mind my own business. So, he and I never get along anyway. I just let it go. I had no idea you, wow.
We'll see. I was eyewitness to them. They were part of the ones who took away Nyarlathotep, the tomb. That's what got me into this situation.
Nyarlathotep.
Yes, the tomb that we unearthed, remember?
Yes, of course. Wait, so yeah, you can see he's starting to put some things together. So they stole it? So
Yeah,
Clive did steal it after all. That bugger.
I mean, Winfield and Al-Shakti,
He's a good liar. He acted all indignant. The next morning when we went down there, he complained that he never should have left the dig site. And he should have doubled security. All of that went on and on about it. I believed him.
I think everyone believed him. I believe that he was coming on here to do us some good. Of course, I was put off when he didn't want to even reveal it in the first place, but should have seen it coming then.
Maxine, you can make a psychology roll if you're trying to.
Yeah,
detect any signs
that's
of
gonna
deception.
fail, but
Well,
unfortunately, you just can't take everything.
no.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah, you really
She's
don't know.
suspicious of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you draw your own conclusions. See, Lottie, I'll let you make a psychology roll with a bonus die because
Hey.
you know him at least a little bit, right? So,
Mhm.
nah, yeah. So, you make your own impression. There's no telltale signs or anything that he's nervous or lying or anything like that. Um, and then he's thinking it through, and he says, "So wait a second. You said this is what happens," and he points to your arm. He said, "Clive did that."
Not directly. He was. So many turned a blind eye to me getting
Not
taken away.
not directly, but that
It's
son
because
of
I
a
followed
bitch.
him. I don't know what they're doing there. Uh, the dig site now. I don't think it's anything too good. Whatever that they're digging up now, I assume they're going to be attempting to steal away and blame it on something else.
So was it that businessman,
Ashokti?
whatever his name is? He did this.
He did part of it. I mean, he took off some of my fingernails.
You can see him getting upset. He said, "Well, his car's right outside.
Yeah, we're aware.
He deserves to go down for this."
He's too
He
powerful,
he
Mr.
looks at
Gardner.
William. He says, "You up for it, mate?"
William looks around at the locals for a minute. He says, I mean,
I mean, roughing him up, giving him what he deserves. Look what he did to her. And he stands up.
James, look. We've got to be careful about this. I mean, he's a powerful man, and
I don't care how powerful he is, and he's Egyptian. What's he gonna
Look.
do?
James, he's gonna do a lot, okay? I mean, he's Egyptian, but he's about as powerful as an Egyptian gets. He's got money. I'm sure he's paid off all the big English big wigs and government types and police force.
What? So we
And
just let him get away with it?
No.
That ain't the plan.
no. Just need to be smart about this.
So he now kind of eyes Maxine and William. He up to that point he really had only been paying attention to Lottie during this little exchange, but it's almost like he forgot you were even there. And now so who are these two, Lottie?
Oh,
What do they have to do with all this?
and Maxine, actually. She points to her. She's the one who actually rescued me. I was bound and I had a bag over my head, and she got me out of it.
You did? He looks at Maxine kind of a little surprised, but you can see there's sort of this almost maybe jealous respect.
She's given me too much credit. I was with some friends at the time. A woman, a Russian woman, and a rich fella from America.
Russian.
Yeah, we found that underground place he was interested in, and that's where Lottie was. Tied up, bag over her head, left to die.
So, what's going on here? I'm assuming this is some sort of smuggling ring. They've stole it and now they're going to sell it, I assume. and you got in their way, didn't you? Oh,
Yeah.
Lottie. I'm very sorry. I should have been paying more attention.
I should have been more careful. I appreciate it, James.
Well, how was you to know? Either of you.
I don't know, but Clive, but Winfield, he's an odd one. There's an air of the sadist about him.
Let me ask, you ever hear the name Gavigan thrown around over there?
Oh, sure. Edward Gavigan. He's the director of the Penhew Foundation. They're funding the whole expedition. Well, they're not solely responsible for the funding, but they're the lion's share of it.
He ever show up?
Here?
Yeah. I know he was in
As
Egypt
matter
a
of
little
fact,
while.
He did come by, yes. I had a
Hey,
pleasant lunch with him. Well, we all did.
I hate to tell you, James, he's not really the best either.
Oh, what do you mean? Seems like a stand-up gentleman to me.
You think Clive's coming down here to dig some things out and then suddenly it goes... I don't think that Gavigan might know about that.
You think Gavigan's in on this? So is that what's going on here? They're planning to ship this back to the Penhew Foundation? That bugger.
I'm sure that's part of it.
That's not helping our cause.
No, it's not.
The Jippos are already accusing us of stealing their treasures. This is just going to make it worse. Eventually, if it lines up at the Penhew Foundation, they're going to find out. What a mess. What do they hope to gain from all this?
I'm sure money's part of it, but they've got a lot of activities going on that I think they're using that money to fund.
Clive doesn't seem like the kind that cares too much about money. He's in it for his image.
I think it might be more of a power thing there, James.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, having this many people tied to it, El Shakti and Gavigan, Clive, there's got to be others as well.
You hear him talking about anything going on the 24th?
The 24th of this month.
Yeah, this coming week.
Oh. No. But I'll say this. Clive's been, well, dropping hints that the expedition might be wrapping up.
He show any signs of being perturbed or put out the past couple of days?
Sure.
You get any news
He's been in
that
a particularly bad mood. Right after that Al Shakti fellow left, he was in quite a snit.
And
That's when he said to Johanna and me not to get too comfortable, that we may be packing up soon. He said. I just thought he was upset about maybe not getting funding or something.
Maxine kind of gives Lottie's shoulder a gentle little friendly punch. Looks like we may have pissed him off a little bit at least.
He looks at you a little quizzically.
Oh,
looks at William to see if William is also in on the inside, whatever that was.
Yeah, William's looking towards Maxine curiously at the comments she just said too.
He said, "You pissed off Clive? I'm not following."
Oh, Maxine, I don't know if you want to handle that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're ready for the whole story, James.
Tell me about the whole story, but the part where he's angry.
Well, we found some of the things that they've been trying to hide down in that underground city, and made sure that they wasn't going to be able to get it out again.
keep mentioning this underground city, Lottie. Now you. Is this really for real?
Oh yeah. There's a secret entrance in Mycerinus, possibly in the other pyramids too, but we
Right by the
didn't
Sphinx,
find those.
actually.
In my Kieran's tomb? I freaking knew it. He kind of slams the table. I knew it. Didn't I always say I thought it was there?
Is it?
Yeah. It's kind of a dangerous place though. For one, it's real easy to get lost. And also it's not like empty. They got people
No, it's supposed to be
down there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be some big city under the city.
Yeah, kinda. I mean,
Or at least it
the way we
was.
saw it was kind of like a lot of tunnels and some bigger chambers, but I'm just saying that it's guarded. Things got kind of hairy. As a matter of fact, and she looks, kind of genuinely upset. My friend, the Russian lady, I said she didn't make it out. Well, I mean, she made it out, but she wasn't alive.
I saw the
What do you-
ones. It was.
What kind of city is this then?
Maybe more of a secret fortress than a
It's probably
living city.
Well, admittedly, what I'm basing my theory on is from texts that are for a couple thousand years old, so I'm sure it's changed.
Yeah, well, everything in there does look pretty darn old. Things on the walls, writing I have no chance of understanding. That's not my background. I bet that was hard to guess, but yeah, I'm sure it'd be real interesting for a fellow like you to have a look at, but it's
Yeah,
like I
you're not
said,
kidding.
dangerous.
Yeah, but what are we waiting for? I mean, really, Lottie, if you're willing to show me this place, I'll go tell Clive right now he can stuff it, and I'll leave tonight.
I'd want to. I trust. Well, and maybe a few more days of being on the outside. I was down there. What was it? If you don't mind, just for a little bit longer, we need to find out exactly what Clive's doing. I mean, we want to be able to maybe bring some of his transgressions to the British government, just so, they know what he's doing and we can get him. Maybe see if he's going to do the same thing at the dig.
Well, do you know where the sarcophagus is? If we could get that and prove that he took it, that would send him right up.
It's down there in that the tunnel complex.
He kind of spreads his arms like this is perfect serendipity. He says, well then, it's perfect then. That's where we need to go.
There's no evidence, though, James. Like, there's no physical evidence that he was there, that he did it. I think we need to get him, caught him in the act, what he's doing now.
Maybe.
And then we can...
So you're saying maybe he'll go back there? Yeah, I mean,
There's
if
a
he
chance.
stole it and they're gonna have to move it, and you know how heavy that thing is. It's not gonna be
Exactly.
easy.
So we need you to keep eyes on him. I mean, we've been keeping some eyes, haven't you been?
You can see he's warming to this whole plot. Like he's lighting up another cigar, and he's looking like, yeah, this sounds good. Like I'm gonna get Clive. You can see, this is. I'd love to see the look on Clive's face when the colonial police come up and clamp irons on him.
I'm looking forward to that too, but
And more
No, really.
especially Winfield. I assume he's all part of it, right?
that is.
Tell me he is. I knew
He
it.
was there.
This may not all just be about Nitocris. You ever hear him talking about A black pharaoh, Naya. She looks at Lottie for like correction.
Nyarlathotep.
Nyarlathotep.
Oh, sure, he's mentioned the Black Pharaoh a few times.
You think he's trying to look?
What did you say? Nyarlathotep? That sounds Egyptian, but doesn't ring any bells.
It's another name for it, from what I understand. Although, like I said, I'm not the expert.
Well,
But you,
I'm not either. The Black Pharaoh is Clive's thing, not really mine.
But you did write about it.
A
A
little bit.
little bit. That's what you thought the Sphinx maybe represented, but
Yeah.
this. But the Sphinx might represent this Nyarlathotep, actually. Not quite the Black Pharaoh.
Really?
and
Hi.
do you think maybe Clive is looking for that tomb? That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. Here? What's he looking for here? To tell you the truth, I don't think he's looking for anything. We don't have any specific instructions. He's just told us to set up some trenches and dig and see what we could find. There's no
Said-
plan. There's no.
This is just a
strategy.
cover-up here.
Well,
They're
yeah,
waiting.
That's what I said right at the beginning there. I feel like we're just waiting out something. It doesn't feel like we have much direction. Yeah, and William has no, the men at the carpet left not too long ago, but and William can make a psychology roll for me.
You want me to make a new one now?
Yeah. This one's for those guys. Your impression was that they didn't leave due to any particular thing that was said. Nothing struck you as, odd or suspicious. But just so you know kind of the way I deal with these things, you got a normal success. So that's about your degree of certainty that what I'm saying is accurate, right? A critical you'd be, if I told you this, I would think you'd be very, very sure. So in any case, if they were like eavesdropping or leaving because they've been spying on you or something, they're either pretty good at what they're doing or you just aren't noticing.
Okay, and William will stand up and take a look out while he's doing that. Take a look out the window and see if the car is still there and such, and before going back to the table and talking with them.
Yeah, so you go to the window and you actually see at that point Al Shakti and his guys. They're all getting back into the car.
He'll turn around and there he is, getting back into the car.
Because it's starting to, it's not dark yet by any means, but it's evening. The sun is, low in the sky.
Go to the window, see if you can overhear anything he's saying. Or if he looks upset or whatever.
Yeah. So you can try a psychology check. He's not saying anything. They all just seem to know what to do. They're all just kind of getting in the car in their places. Yeah, hard to read. And it's mostly you see the back of his head anyway, so it's tough to see what kind of mood he's in. His body language isn't giving off anything particular. And the driver just closes his door after Shakti's in and then gets in, and they're all inside the car now.
Yeah. As he comes back over to the table, William, he shakes his head and towards Maxine, and kind of a frown on his face, and he says, "Hello, James. I'm Dr. William Stevens, anthropologist."
Oh, funny time to be formally introduced. He stands up and he says, "Yeah, James Gardner," and you hear the car pull away, going that way.
So, Clyde double his guard lately.
Yeah, he did that actually almost right as soon as we got here. God only knows why. He's gotten paranoid now, though. I don't know. He's changed. He's strange since we got down here to Memphis. Things aren't going his way. I don't know exactly why or what that involves, but
Did you get the impression when Mr. Shakti arrived today that he was in a mood of any kind? Did he seem upset? Did he give Clive a chewing out?
honestly, didn't see much of him. They just went in the tent and talked. But yeah, my read on the Egyptian gentleman was he didn't look too happy. I didn't hear any shouting or anything like that. We were talking about it chewing out, but yeah, he's got kind of a grim, irritated look about him, I'd say. I can tell you this: I was kind of happy he didn't look my way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want that man taking notice of you, trust me.
Yes, maybe that's just my instinct. But he looked like he wouldn't really want to engage in idle chit chat.
I
But
totally agree.
As far as being angry with Clive, I didn't get that impression, no. But Clive sure looked upset. It seemed more like a shared frustration or upset. They were both in a mood, or at least after they came out.
Totally agree. He should pay for what he did to Lottie. But I feel we're gonna have to be sneaky about this. You're already on the inside.
I suppose I am.
And, go ahead, Lottie.
Oh, I was gonna say we'll be nearby. We're not gonna leave you hanging, so we'll keep eyes out as well. See if anything happens.
Wait, you're gonna be nearby. Do you think that's wise, Lottie, after what they did to you? Well, and you suggested here that Maxine, is it? And another friend rescued you, were your words. What's he going to do if he knows you're back? Doesn't it seem like it'd be safer if you just maybe headed back to Cairo and played it safe?
Lottie and shakes her head. No. There's part of me that does want to run, of course, and even try to head home, but after what they did, after the things that they're hiding, taking the tomb and everything that we worked hard for, I can't in good conscience let them get away with anymore. I can't just fear for my own safety at this point.
There may be some more good we can still do here in Memphis. If it starts to look like we're kind of stuck, maybe we can head back to Cairo and James can send us a telegram. If they move or something happens, but I don't think we're quite at that point yet.
All right, Lottie. He looks at you and he says, "You are the aggrieved party if you think it wise, then He just smiled. He says, "You are an Irish woman after all, aren't you?"
Exactly. I feel like my ancestors would be mighty displeased with me if I just ran away.
He says, "Well, for what it's worth, if I can do anything to make sure nothing happens to you, I will. That man deserves payback. Oh, both of them."
Try to pretend none of this conversation happened. I know it's going to be a bit difficult, but just keep
Yes,
eyes on it.
I'm looking at his ugly face, yes, every day.
How
It'd be
soon
hard
could
to
you?
say nothing.
How soon could you be back here without looking suspicious?
I guess I could come back tomorrow for dinner again. Or I could, I suppose I could feign certain supplies having not been available and told to come back tomorrow. Clive doesn't take too much notice of the logistics. Though
I think that'd be
Johanna
fine.
will be over it with her little... if she had an abacus. Anyway.
I think that'd be fine.
Yeah,
All
maybe
right.
plan to meet here again for dinner tomorrow then.
Alright, I'll do that. Maybe I'll leave the boys back there too. They don't need to know anything about this. Alright. You can see he looks troubled. Like there's a lot on his mind now. And he gets up and he says, "Well, Lottie, it was not what I expected when I walked through that door, but I must say it's damn good to see you." And he actually does sort of awkwardly lean in for a little hug.
Yeah, Lottie will open her arm. It's good to see you again, James. Especially a friendly face.
And he nods and turns to Maxine and William and puts his hand out to shake both of yours. He says, "Of course, it was a pleasure." And he looks at Maxine and says, "American, I'm assuming."
Yeah, I'm from Chicago.
Never heard of it.
That's funny. Everybody outside of the States always says that. You should give it a try sometime. Puts New York to shame.
Really? Well, I've heard of New York, of course. Everyone's heard of New York.
No class compared to Chicago.
Well, if I'm ever in the neighborhood, then he smiles and he says, "William?"
Yes, very good. Mr. Gardner?
"Yes, you can call me James." And he says, "Take care of this one, eh? Don't let her get into any more trouble."
Certainly will. And watch your back, sir.
I will now.
Yeah, I know you're gonna be pretty angry going back there. Every time you look at Mr. Clive, knowing what he done to Lottie, but you gotta try to act as normal as you can.
Yeah, I'll try. And he just kind of turns and gives you sort of this little two-finger salute with the cigar out of the side of his mouth and walks out. Goes down the road. And you can hear
I
him
gotta say, Lottie,
start up his... Or sorry, start the other way. Not that way. Towards the bazaar. Yep, go ahead.
he seems like a decent fella.
Aye, but at first I thought that his theories and his books were pretty out there. But seems that his research has come in handy a bit. And, well, he's just out there enough to be able to at least try and get him to help us. But no, he's a good man.
You think he'd be upset if he knew well, it wasn't me, but, that mummy got burned up?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I got the feeling. You academic types are so prickly about that.
It's hard when you're, looking for something for a number of months and such, and then, all of a sudden it just gets boring.
I think it's for the best in this case.
Yeah, for the best. Of course, part of me is always going to be a bit disappointed, but yeah, for the best.
And the proprietor comes and says, will there be anything else?
Oh no, I think that we're good. William, I think that we're good. You might want to tell him.
Of course. Oh, thank you very much. The bill, please.
Yes, of course. I hope you found everything to your satisfaction.
Yes, we did. Thank you very much.
Okay. So you pay.
As they're getting up to leave, William will say, look over to Maxine. No. Still want to take a go at that place down the street?
Yeah, if nothing else, we might be able to find some proof you can send back to the governor. She says, giving him a wide smile.
He goes to like straighten his hat and then sort of double takes. And then he doesn't know how to take it at first, but he kind of just smiles. Good show, Maxine.
And she just smiles back and taps the side of her nose. Yeah, gonna learn pretty quick that secrets don't last very well around us. She looks at Lottie.
Lottie looks confused.
Just William sighs and he's like, well, point keeping any secret anymore.
You working for
I
the
told you.
governor?
Sorry,
He smiles.
I missed that.
Oh, Lottie just said you're working for the governor there.
He smiles and he looks back at Maxine and he's like, told you I wasn't on the bad side.
That's an argument that one can bring up.
Yeah, well, at least it's not our Shakti.
But it is the British.
Sometimes you gotta pick the lesser of two evils.
Lottie looks like she's weighing options.
Ah, come on now. He's a little stiff, but he seems like an alright fella, she says, kind of patting William on the shoulder.
I just hope he's not stiff right now. Come on, William, let's go.
He'll leave a nice tip and follow them out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, I don't know if you want to continue because I actually am planning to try to sneak into that place tonight and take a look at the pottery.
I'm fine with doing that. We still got 25 about, so
Okay.
yeah. If something serious goes down, we might stop at that point. But
Uh-oh. Is it dark out?
it is not dark yet. It is dusk.
We might get in the car.
The village is quieting down, though, right? I mean, the sun. People are at their homes, probably having dinner and getting ready to go to bed. The village will become very quiet as soon as it's dark.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll just go back to the car and kind of wait until it gets dark.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And so incidentally, your car would be parked about, I'm thinking the bazaar is like around here. Okay. And I'm trying to remember what the car is. It's
a truck.
Yeah, it's the truck. Okay. So you wait, and the sun goes down, and the village gets almost silent, just occasional dog barking.
As the sun goes down, Max is giving her bag of supplies a last minute check. Finally, she has a real flashlight from what she got from the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at what they're wearing. Maybe we better change into some more formal garb, she says, kind of pointing to the stuff they bought at the bazaar that was more native clothing, because it's likely to be dark.
Mm-hmm.
And if they get caught, people won't necessarily assume it was Englishmen.
Good idea.
Okay. All right. So you do that.
And then head quietly back over to the villa. And I'm thinking just the shop. Like, we want to take a look at what's in the shop.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Keep an eye out for if they posted anybody.
No worries. I'll keep them both.
So I think once they get close, very slow, like pausing by this tree just to see if they see or hear any movement. No
Okay.
impatience.
Okay. Yeah, so you wait there for a while. I mean, it is, as I said, just it's quiet. There's hardly any movement, so you don't see any guards. No one's patrolling. You don't see anybody on the roof. You can make it. I'll let one of you make a spot hidden if you want to, take a really
Sure.
close look, just in case someone's being very sneaky or tricky. But there's no obvious guards. Lottie is a normal success. Confident that there's nobody kind of watching them or sort of on patrol or guard anywhere on this side of the building, certainly.
It's
and
clear.
you can see there are very dim there's like very dim, maybe candle or oil lamp light from inside there, but it's very dim.
After standing nearly still for 5 minutes or so, and Lottie gives it the clear, I guess, coming over here, seeing if there's a door, if it's locked.
So this is a pair of wooden doors. There are rudimentary handles on the outsides here, so you could pull them open. They open outward. Or I'm sorry, they open inward. My mistake. So you could push them, but you try it, and it kind of jiggles, but you can tell there's something blocking the door from opening.
Is there any light coming from underneath the door?
There is not.
It might be wood or something.
So Max is going to risk turning on the flashlight, and she's going to shine it kind of in the crack between the door, the two doors, to see if she can see if there's like a, if it's got a board laid across bar.
Yep, you can. It's wide enough, but give me a luck check to see how wide it is. It's wide enough for you to see that you're fairly certain there is a bar holding the door shut, but the crack between is pretty thin. It would be hard to get anything substantial in between there.
She does have a switchblade.
Hmm.
But
that would be a little risky. The bar looks like it's
heavy.
Yeah, it looks kind of heavy. So you could actually, well, you don't know. I mean, you could try it.
Well, she's got a little trick that involves some wire and hooking it around if she can get it through,
Okay.
and then lifting up. Can she? I don't know if this is lock picking or.
Yeah, I'll consider that a form of lock picking. Sure.
Okay.
Nice.
Ah.
You can push it, or stop.
She's been trying to.
Yeah, you're kind of trying to hook and wrap around this thing, and you kind of get it, and you start to pull, and the bar is kind of raising just a little, and then it kind of like settles back down, and it's not really loud, but if you keep at it, you can get it to a point where you're raising it up, and then it slips and comes back down pretty hard and loud.
This happens, and it's such fidgety work, and she is just by now like covered in sweat, and just from the tension of it. And as it makes a little thump, she just looks so frustrated, and she turns around and she says, "I almost had it, but man, if I let it drop again, it might get kind of loud. What do you think? Do we risk it? We got to be ready to run if it makes a noise."
Legs are a bit short, but I can run pretty fast. But you got long gangly legs there. How are you doing the running category?
Should we look for another way in?
Well, we could. I mean, we could probably get in through the kitchen, but then we'd be wandering around the house. Is that what you want to do? I'm willing to give that a shot. Might have a more traditional lock.
Oh, you could.
Let's do that.
Well, you saw the door there. It does not have a keyhole. So if it's shut, it's probably barred as well.
Okay.
Did we see that
In
door?
fact, I mean, you don't see keys on any of these doors. You made a whole walk around. You did not observe keyholes on any door.
Is
Ooh,
that
is this
a ladder?
It is.
Oh.
we could get up there on the roof. Be an entrance.
There might be.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Okay. Yeah, you go around. There is a ladder, which will get you up to the roof.
I guess we're crouching on the roof, so no one sees
Yeah,
us.
you climb up the ladder. And you're on the roof. The roof, now that you're kind of on this roof here, you can see other roofs kind of have some stuff on them around the village. This one, it doesn't look like the roof here is used for much of anything. It's pretty barren.
We can give it a quick walk around.
There's stairs.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd actually be able to see him without walking around. But
Yeah.
You'd have to. As soon as you get to like this corner here, though, you can see down in the moonlight. It's, as we know, it's like a quarter moon. So, not the best light to see by, but it's not bad. So you can see, and it's a clear night, so you can see down into the little courtyard here. It looks pretty simple.
So it looked like we could hop down to the next level and then take the stairs down, like into the courtyard.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So the ceilings here are a little higher. So obviously this is like I wouldn't exactly call it an awning, but it's not really like a
It's an overhang, sort
yeah,
of. A,
right. It hangs over a little bit.
Let's give that a go. Rather than taking stairs down into somebody's bedroom or whatever, we don't know what's down there.
Sure. Let's just be careful.
Okay. Make a. I need. Let's see. Who's gonna do the stealth check? Maxine, I need you to do the stealth check.
That's good.
Ooh.
Yes.
Wow, nice. Okay, so you guys are being surprisingly quiet for moving around on this roof at night. So far, so good.
All right. Does it take any sort of a roll to hop down and then go down
No,
the stairs?
I'm counting that. I mean, this would be the most dangerous moment. That's really when your stealth probably would have come into primary question. So, no, I'm going to say you make it down nice and easy. It's not
That's our style.
it's not a big drop anyway. It's not like, it's just a couple feet. So it's not huge. It's just a careful step down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Lottie.
Oh, yeah.
I assume you're saying that really quietly.
Yes.
No, extremely loudly, just shouting it.
She's going woohoo, woohoo.
And the thing about this courtyard area, there are no doors on any of these openings. They're just curtains.
All right. Well, we don't actually know what's in any of these rooms, but we do know the general direction of the
Right.
shop.
Mm-hmm.
So-
it would be obviously here. And there aren't even any doors. These are just doorways here. There aren't even any doors.
Yeah, Max will keep the flashlight off for the most part, unless they reach a part where they really need it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a quick flash to get the layout, turn it off.
Yep. When you walk by this curtain, you hear very low voices on the other side of the curtain.
Max will stop, kind of hold her hand out to the other.
It's in Arabic.
Take a listen.
They don't sound alarmed. It sounds more like quiet talk. William, you can make an Arabic. Actually, it's actually more a listen check than an Arabic check. You know Arabic fine. Oh, you actually can overhear a fair amount of the conversation. It is a conversation between two women, and the subject of it is how whenever that man shows up, Mr. Saeed gets all formal. He becomes much more rigid and short-tempered with them. And the one says, it'll be the new moon soon, and so I'm sure he'll be gone again. And the one says, I hope he doesn't choose me this time. And she says, pray to Allah that he spares you. And she says she prays every night that Allah will deliver her from this evil man.
All right. William, they probably both passed me before I finished listening.
Yep.
So he'll catch up to them quickly after that.
Make a stealth check for me, William. I'll give you a bonus die.
Spend luck,
spend
spend
luck,
You
luck.
can spend the 4 luck if you want.
Yes, I'll spend the 4 luck.
It's so funny. The other group I play, like, they hoard luck. Like, they just hate spending even like a point or two of luck. They're like, especially Walter. You know Walter now. He's like,
Yes, he's like, I'll just run away.
yeah, I'm not gonna spend a point of luck. Are you crazy? Yeah.
I took it off there.
All right. So you, you make it by with no incident at all, and you guys get into the workshop area. So how do you approach this, Maxine? You get there before William does, right? You and Lottie arrive with a couple minutes to do your own thing.
I think Lottie and Maxine wait there for a minute to see if they hear the sound of breathing or moving or
All right.
anything from him.
Either one of you can make a listen roll then.
Sure. Let's see. Listen. I hear nothing.
You don't hear anything. Sounds quiet.
I
Max
think we're
will
okay.
push the curtain aside gently,
Mm-hmm.
step inside. She puts her back against the wall, and then she just waits for her eyes to adjust.
Yeah, it's pretty dark in here. There's just a faint bit of light coming from this small kind of ventilation window more than anything. And of course, you know, the doorways, there's some air coming through, but not much.
Yeah, she waits for Lottie to come through and just kind of whispers, just wait for your eyes.
Okay.
Okay. And you haven't heard any real noise in that time.
Yeah, she'll, as soon as she feels like she's not going to trip over anything, you know, as the blackness
Yeah.
kind of transforms into
Right.
shadows and gray,
Mhm.
she'll move forward
Okay.
and
Make
go
a,
into the shop area.
yeah, make a luck check for me. You are kind of, I mean, you can sort of see. No, all right, dexterity then.
Oh, smash.
You're gonna bump into a pot somewhere.
No!
Nope.
It's like
I'm going to push it. Can I push it?
we got
Or
to-
not.
All right. If you push and fail, then so you try to recover. If you push and fail, then I mean you're gonna go really trip and go face first into a few pots, and it will be very loud, like no mistaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go ahead.
Yes! Oh!
Okay. All right. So you kind of stumble and you do break one jar, but you manage to catch hold of the door frame, you know, the wall frame right here, and steady yourself before you go pitching face forward into like a bunch of pots that have been lined up that aren't quite finished.
As the jar breaks, she just freezes after bracing herself.
And,
Listening.
Yeah, William,
Listening.
You would have heard just the slightest little clinky noise coming from that direction.
Is he making it in there yet?
Yeah, he can come in now. So yeah, he's
And after 30 seconds or so, if she doesn't hear anything, then she, with all the curtains shut, you know, behind William, she'll turn on the flashlight.
okay. Yeah. Unfortunately for you, there's
And he'll come in and kind of back to the wall, kind of peeking around the corner, make sure nobody's coming or anything.
Mhm. Yep, and you turn on the flashlight, and lucky for you, there's nobody in here. And it looks like they are about to do a shipment. You can see that there's a bunch of pots that are drying, having been painted, and there are crates sort of stacked up, like along this wall here. Empty right now, but clearly intended to be used. And shipping labels for to be sent to London, actually.
Yeah, what's the address on the shipping labels?
That's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. Off the top of my head.
Well, I'm not sure she would know, but she'll make a note of it.
Yep. I will definitely have that information for you. It's nothing that stands out to you as something you would recognize, but it is a London shipping address, a shipping company, right?
Are there any pots out that have like a lid on them or a stopper, or are they all just empty pots? She's just kind of peering inside them.
They are empty pots. It looks like these are just meant to be containers. They are not intended, at least at present, it doesn't look like there's anything intended to be shipped in them.
All right, let's open a crate.
Okay. Well, the crates are open already. They haven't been closed up yet. There's just empty crates ready to be filled. Like when the pottery is ready to go, they will pack them into crates with there's a lot of straw lying around ready to go. So you can imagine them packing up these crates with these bits of pottery.
So all they see are jars and pots with nothing inside them and some empty crates. If there's anything else in the room that stands out, we're making a note of it.
Yep. Make a spot hidden. No, nothing stands out.
Find anything?
Nothing incriminating, but I mean, who's to say that the stuff that they're going to hide in these pots is here? They might get added on a ship or something. But this address mean anything to you? Anyway, I'll let you take a look at it later when we're in the light, but I jotted it down. It's in England.
William, you can try an accounting check. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to you.
Heard of that?
It is in what's the thing I'm looking for?
Limehouse?
Yeah.
Lime?
Yep, it's a Limehouse district address.
He will mention to them too. Women, I heard them speaking. They're afraid of that man that comes to visit. One of them said he hoped he didn't pick her next time.
Oh no.
That makes Maxine's blood run cold.
Fuck. If that man was here right now, I'd stab him right in the heart.
That's what I.
I mean, like some sort of sacrifice or slave trade.
Yeah, you got it right the first time.
Well, I mean, the man who runs this place is here. I don't know if maybe we can come back another day, but very soon. I think we should be getting maybe some answers from him. Yeah. They're the Irish way.
I think you might be right. We try anything tonight, though, we tip our hand.
Aye.
We don't want to risk setting anything off while your friend James might be actually getting us some valuable information.
Agreed. We should, most likely, if we can't find anything else here, we should head back.
Yeah, you're right.
And maybe clean up these pots on the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, Max is a good point. You got a knack for this, Lottie.
I know something about cleaning up a dig site or two.
Yeah, I'd say she does. She can do a pretty good job of
Tidy.
collecting that all up. Yep.
She gets her little tiny archaeologist brush out.
Yeah, right.
But,
I'll just be a few hours. Yeah.
make sure to catalog it all.
I think maybe
Seems
we
pretty-
try. Go ahead.
I was going to say, William's pretty strong. He could probably get this ready if they want to exit that way.
We should
Yeah.
probably make it a bit more conspicuous. Maybe take the stairs.
Yeah, if we move the bar, we don't have a way of getting it back in. So let's try to take the stairs back up. Maybe we can manage it.
Okay. This time it is William who must do the stealth check.
Oh no!
You've been that way before. I'm going to give you a bonus die.
Oh, is it?
1 point. 1 point.
I'll spend it.
Oh,
Get rid of
boy.
all his luck.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Wow. All
Because
right.
you know, William, we don't have to run faster than the bad guys.
Just you.
you.
Yeah, you're expendable.
Your English.
All right. So yeah, you guys make it out and get down without apparently tipping your hand. Doesn't seem like anybody noticed you. And I assume you head back to your camp.
Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, we will call that a night.
We must
Huh?
save those ladies.
Chivalrous.
You must pay the rent. All right.
That was great. Thanks for running.
Yep. That was
Yes,
fun. We
thanks
got
for
to do
doing
some